Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down Starfield by a few different number metrics in different areas of the game to give us just a better idea for how large and how much potential Starfield has. But real quick, I am on a quest to unlock polls for the channel, and I have to increase my subscriber count. I have no idea why they actually tied polls to subscriber count, but I need to get my subscriber count up. So if you do like the content or you like the content on the channel, definitely do appreciate if you would subscribe, and I would appreciate it very much. And hopefully I will get access to polls by Saturday, July 29th, and I can do a new poll then, but it will be inside of YouTube if I can get access to it by then. All right, so let's get on with it. And we're actually going to start with the poll from last Saturday about what is that one thing that has you interested and will keep you interested in Starfield. Now, first off, I'd like to throw out my appreciation to everybody that took their time to vote. I know it was an external link to the poll, but, you know, it is what it is. So that's why I do ask for your help on getting those subscribers up. But for the voting breakdown, exploration, planets, and planetary things actually came in first at 27.5%, just barely beating out shipbuilding and customization, coming in at 24.2%. And then we had ship combat, docking, boarding, stealing coming in at 18.7%. with outposts, cargo links, crafting coming in at 14.3%, character creation, customization, story, companions coming in just under 10% at 9.9%, and the other category coming in at 5.5%. And I did read some of your comments about other, you wanted to select all of them. Well, I didn't want to have a choice for all of the above because most people probably just would have defaulted to all of the above. That's kind of what makes it tough about selecting that one thing, but I do appreciate you and I do appreciate your feedback, and it is nice to know that, hey, you're interested in multiple aspects of the game. Now, what will be interesting is when we get a month or two down the line after the Starfield release, is maybe even coming back and doing this poll or a poll very similar to this and maybe asking what is that one thing that you're really enjoying about Starfield, and seeing the breakdown between this poll pre-release and a post-release type of poll and seeing kind of how the community has maybe even changed some of their choices. So let's go ahead and segue over to some of the different areas of the game and break them down by some numbers. So we know Starfield's going to have about 100 star systems, with some of them being lower level star systems. And as we level up our character and equipment and gear, we will be able to access higher level star systems. Now, I'd be curious to see if we can go to higher level star systems, but maybe like just as a transportation, like into and out of real quick as we go to another area that's lower level. Be curious to see kind of how that works. But across those 100 star systems, there will be roughly 1,000 planets. 1,000 planets plus is what they've kind of said. So we're just going to stick with a basic mathematical number here of 1,000 planets. So across these 1,000 planets, we know we're not going to be able to land on all of them. So let's say 10% of the planets in Starfield we will not be able to land on. So that would be roughly one per star system. So that's going to be 900 planets that we can explore. Now, if you have a goal in mind to visit all the planets, well, let's say you spend about 10 minutes on average on each planet. That'll be about 9,000 minutes or 150 hours of time. So as you can see here, this is already quite a bit of time into the game just trying to go to all the different planets, maybe even just getting a quick glimpse of all the different planets, like, okay, I like this planet, I don't like this planet, and then, maybe moving on to the next planet. 10 minutes each planet, that still is about a week of gameplay time. All right, so there's one. So let's go back to our 1,000 planet scenario. And let's say this time we have 15% of our planets have fauna on them, or wildlife and different creatures. So that'll be 150 planets with different wildlife and creatures. And we'll say there will be 8 creatures on average for each one of those planets that will have fauna. That is a possibility of having 1,200 creatures to come across in Starfield. Now, I'm not going to break down how long it might take you to get all the creatures found and documented in Starfield, but as you can see, there is a lot of possibilities here in Starfield. And even if my numbers are a little bit optimistic, I was actually kind of trying to be a little bit pessimistic or a little bit under on my assumption numbers, you can see that there is a lot of possibilities, even if you cut the numbers in half. Now, the numbers that I've shown off so far don't even take into account the moons that we have seen in Starfield. And they have even shown off moons with different fauna and features and various other things to explore. So now when you factor in the planets and moons together, you can see just how much larger this game gets. So let's talk about another part of the game, skills. Let's discuss just how long it might take to max out your skill tree. So we know there will be 5 skill trees: the physical, the social, the combat, the science, and the tech skill trees. 3 of those trees, the physical, social, and science, will have 16 skills, with the other 2 trees, combat and tech, having 17 skills. Now, from everything that we've seen about the skills and how they level up, each skill will have 4 levels. So in total, there will be 328 rank ups to max out all skills. Now, we don't know how the leveling process will work, if it's like a progressive or if it's a linear type system. And what I mean by that is if it's like 1,000 XP every rank up, or if it progressively gets larger for every rank up. But let's say it takes us roughly on average 30 minutes to get 1 level up. That will be 9,840 minutes to max out our skill tree, or 164 hours, which will be just under 7 days. Okay, so that's a little bit of a breakdown on the skills, but what about weapons? Are we going to have a lot of variety to weapons? Well, we already did hear one dev actually talking about that this is a game that has the most weapons and mods of any other game they've done before. So I would assume we're going to have quite a bit of selection of different weapons.
We probably have more mods and more weapons in this game than I want to say any other game we've done before.
But for this purpose, let's just go with a very safe number, 50 weapons. Now, the reason why I picked 50 weapons is, well, because that's how many weapons were in Fallout 4, or just over 50 weapons. I guess there was 50 plus weapons in Fallout 4. So I thought 50 weapons would be good enough for this demonstration. And we do know that most weapons, or a lot of weapons out there, will have 7 mod slots. Now, I don't expect all weapons to have 7 mod slots, and we've even seen some actually not have 7 mod slots. So it might be a little bit of an overreach, but that is one reason why I actually took 50 weapons and not tried to elevate that number. But let's say for each one of those different mod slots, there will be 4 mods per slot that we could pick. Now, I would expect that some mod slots will actually have more than 4, but for this, we'll just say 4 mod slots. Be a little bit conservative here on the numbers. So when we factor all of these different things together, we come up with 1,750 different combinations for weapons. So I actually did kind of want to calculate how long it would take to kind of get all of the different mods unlocked in the game or research, but it was just a little bit too much of unknown information, kind of how the research aspect will work to be able to implement certain mods. And I figured you guys might know more about that, so if you want to come up with your own numbers, you can let me know. You guys have way more knowledge on how Bethesda's implemented such systems before in their game, so you'll have a little bit more knowledge on how long it might take to do some of that. So if you have any ideas, you can let me know. Now, really why I wanted to do this, because a lot of people were like, I don't know if Starfield is going to be super deep, and it seems like it'll be kind of shallow. Well, I just wanted to give you an idea of how large Starfield is. But the other thing to consider here is this is not even looking at many of the aspects in the game, like spaceship building and customizing, flying, and taking over other ships. What about all the outposts you will be building, and projects to research, and various things to craft? And there are going to be many things about Starfield that we don't even know about. So when you take a step back and look at all the different things in Starfield, it's kind of mind-blowing just how large it is, or the many different possible combinations of things that are going to be available. And all these things are going to be in Bethesda's deepest story and most expansive galaxy, Starfield. Do I worry that there won't be enough to do, or about the emptiness of some of the planets? No, I don't. Because there's so much variety within Starfield that even if I enjoyed 30% of it, for how large Starfield is, that is still a huge amount of enjoyment. I definitely appreciate y'all watching and helping out on the channel recently, and definitely if you could help lift up the subscriber numbers, I would greatly appreciate that. And I will do a poll next Saturday, July 29th, if I can get access to polls inside of YouTube. So that is one reason why I'm asking for your help on the subscribers. But do you have any different numbers or ways you've kind of broken down Starfield, or maybe even some different ways that I've looked at some numbers in this video? Let me know. Appreciate you watching. Alrighty, take care.